Great ride isn't, y'all. I hope that's enough light. We'll see when I get on. I'm putting up. Get your chair. Get your mat line up if you're walking wall to wall. I am in paradise. I'll be there to Kwanzaa. And I'll be looking at my ancestors. This is from the book Remembering Enslavement. I say enslavement because that's what it is. But the Hatfield McCoy term is slavery. But if you know a Hatfield and you know a McCoy, you know why they do that. Let me get my pictures up so I can look at it as I do our walk. Y'all get ready. This is, we're going to be walking with Wilbur Colbert. He was an enslaved person who was free. And we're walking with Dollar Garlic, formerly enslaved in Virginia, Georgia. I didn't know it was Virginia, Georgia. And Louisiana. Oh, Virginia, Georgia, and Louisiana. And this is a picture. So they're going to do the walk with me. I said, you know what? Look and see your ancestors. Talk to them. I've been talking to quite a few Hatfields and McCoys. And talking to a Hatfield and a McCoy is like spitting in the wind, honey. It's going to come back and smear all over your face. That's the Hatfield and the McCoy way. No advances. No advances. No advances. But the ancestors said, stay out of it. Let them eat themselves. And that's just the way they said it. Hey, I'm ready, y'all. Let's do this half-hour walk. Let me see what I look like. Alrighty now. Well, you can't see my feet. And that's the whole purpose of this walk. Trust and believe, honey. I ain't got no blonde hair. I ain't got no blue eyes. I ain't got no big, bouncy, boogly jugs. Trust and believe, honey. He ain't over here to look at nothing but my feet. Y'all know Hatfield, McCoy way. I'm going to tell y'all a story that just came in because y'all know I'll be 65 this Sunday. This Friday. And when I was thinking about the Hatfields and the McCoys, sorry, ancestor, let me put you back up there. It made me think of when I first went down south. And it got to be too much. Too much. I've never known such hate. And I'm 65. And I have not run into that hate again. That's why I ain't going down south. That's why, sorry, Stacy, what I knew in Georgia. In Georgia, the Hatfields and the McCoys, they eat one another. Up in the mountains, there's bones all over that mountain. Blood all over that mountain. They always fighting and killing one another. One camera I see the foot really good, and the other I don't. They don't have birth certificates of birth. So when they die, they just bury each other in the mountains. No one's going to come up there to find out anything. So when I went down south, hey, thanks for coming on the walk. Hope you had a good weekend. I like to say like, comment, share, but thank you, subscribers. So, ancestors. So, it got to be too much. And my mother directed me to this. I used to walk like for hours. And, well, ancestors probably know they was there. And I turned into this mental health place. I got on my favorite Jerry's this morning. And they had programs for teens and stuff. And I just asked, I was like, I need help, y'all. I really can't do this. So, it was wonderful. It was an African American, probably HBCU, African American therapist. She just had a little baby. I still have the baby's picture. And I went in there and we sat down in a group. And I was the only dark-skinned person there. Everybody else was hill folks. Or low country folks. That's what they call them. I didn't know that at the time. And they were all there for stealing, robbing, and stuff like that. But I was so caught in my whole cult thing that I was going through. The incest hadn't started yet. But I was fighting every day. Every day I was jumped by cousins. Every day. So I'm sitting there, and I remember this little girl came in, and she sat down, and you saw straight up into her hooch. So the counselor asked if she would not sit like that. If she would just like lower her dress and bring it down. Now, the little low country boys that was in the group, they was laughing. And the lady said to her, "Don't you wear underwear?" This little girl. She said, "No." Y'all remember? She said, "No, I don't need them." So the counselor says, "Well, what happens when you get your menstrual?" She probably said period. And the girl said, "I'll be pregnant before then." But I was so busy in my own suffering trying to find out this whole South Carolina, this thing, how did I come into a world where every day you had to fight? People said that was your family, but you had to fight them like strangers in the street. So I heard her say that, but then I didn't hear her say it. And then my grandfather died, and my underwear started missing. I had to wear these dresses. Now, I put it together. I was probably PTSD for a lot of years. Still probably just coming out of it. And that's why you wore dresses, and that's why you wore skirts. And I had clothes that little white girls, they call it low country, Hatfield or McCoy's. I even went to their house. But I still had my New York accent. So I was like, like something they'd never seen before. So they was like, they loved showing me off. Nobody wore panties. Everybody had on skirts. Everybody was fucking. And I didn't look at this like, well, Vicky, this is exactly what. Even when my underwear started missing, I couldn't understand. Seeing the Colts and in the hills and with the Hatfields and the McCoys, that's my mother ran that territory. Girls don't need panties. How else can the cousins rub your butt or finger you, stuff like that? That's what they bought your children to. And I still didn't put it together. Telling me, girl, you in the South now. This is what they do. But I was like, that must be what white people do. So even when it was happening to me, I still didn't connect the dots. Because it wasn't me. That was the Hatfields and the McCoys. But it's a whole culture. And it goes back to that cult. That Southern Baptist. So, I just thought of that this morning. And that's why they don't, that's why the Hatfields and McCoys need you to have little girls. They need you to have them. Can you imagine a man anticipating his 30s knowing that he will be able to have a full-blown sexual relationship with a 5 years old until she's 25 or 30? And if she don't, blow brains out and throw her in the backyard with all other wives. They don't have birth certificates. Nobody knows when they're born, and no one knows when they die. That's why when I was in Tennessee, on the HBCU Knoxville College campus, and that little Hatfield and McCoy boy came down, dirty faced, nasty. He didn't have no underwear on either. He didn't have no underwear on. The girls used to clean him up. And then that one time, they said, come on, we walk him back up in the hills. I was so stupid. We could have possibly, well, no. We would have come back out because they came looking for us. So they ain't that stupid. We got birth certificates. A lot of those Hatfields and McCoys, they don't have birth certificates. They have no existence. I'm looking at the camera. That's why when these people come, like from Jamaica and Africa, and you run up to them Georgia hills and stuff like that, you don't come out. But we talk about you. We talk about racism and all that kind of stuff, but every Hatfield and McCoy, no. You go up in those hills, you ain't coming out. So, though I gave money to Stacey Abrams, and I was like, it'd be great if she won. One thing I know is the Hatfields and the McCoys. And I said if the Hatfields and McCoys are not there, Stacey Abrams will win. But the Hatfields and McCoys is all through that place. They ain't never gonna let them little girls put panties on. So, can y'all imagine how panicked I was when I took my daughter down south for her 5th birthday and my train tickets were stolen? and I had no way to get home. And I looked at my 5-year-old daughter and I said, holy cow. They finna start incesting on my daughter. I am trapped down here with my daughter. I kept saying, why did you bring her down there? Oh, see my grandmother and her great-grandmother. And my mother was like, now what? You stuck down here? Thank goodness I had my tubes tied. Whew. You stuck down here? They'll be raping your child in no time, incesting your daughter in no time. They're telling you it's God's divine. And that little girl inside me started screaming and screaming and screaming and screaming, and I couldn't get out. And I remember calling my sisters. Whew. That's when you find out what sisters are. And they told me that I took the tickets and spent it on a good time. They had no idea of my experience in the South. And if they knew I would never cash my tickets out. That's my freedom, my way out. But anyway, it was my landlord who sent for me and Day to come on. And I'm telling you, I cried. Whew! I cried. Until we hit the New Jersey Turnpike, I cried. I couldn't believe I was out. I couldn't believe I was free. I couldn't believe I hadn't been raped. I hadn't believed my daughter hadn't been incest yet. All the things that could have happened to us, all the things that could happen, that happens in the Hatfields and McCoy land. And that's America. Man, I kept saying, oh my God, you came back down here? They didn't kill you before, not for lack of trying. That's why I walk, honey. I love this body. This body done been trying to get killed for sexual reasons from the time my mother died. But when I took over my life, honey, I think men's know. I got no problem killing you. So, whew, I remember. And then my grandmother died. Now, my cousin Nett, she didn't come back. When she got away, because she was, let's put it like this. She was the pimps and incest, you have to have bottom bitches. And the bottom bitches, they beat up the victim that's going to be raped by the men. They beat them up. And then the boys come in and incest them. Yep, they call bottom bitches. Just like pimps and stuff. But that's the whole thing. We're going to take a little break and put on the music. And then I love looking at ancestors because I'm walking. Listen, your life wasn't in vain for me. I'm grateful. Now, I know a lot of folks think it's the blonde-haired guy with the blue eyes and the sandals. You know, the Hatfields and the McCoys. I'm walking. So happy to be walking. Happy to be walking. Thank you for the company. Walking. Yes, indeed, I'm walking, I'm on, yeah, I'm on. Yes, I'm walking, I'm walking. Thank you for the company. I'm walking, I'm walking, I'm walking, I'm walking. So happy to be walking, happy to be walking. Thank you for the company. Walking, yes indeed, I'm walking, I'm on, yeah, I'm on, yes I'm walking, I'm walking. Thank you for the company. I'm walking, I'm walking, I'm walking, I'm walking. So happy to be walking, happy to be walking. Thank you for the company. Here I is. Walking, yes indeed. I'm walking, I'm walking, yes I'm walking, Hey y'all, hey. So now you understand how in the Hatfields and McCoy land they don't want education. If the little girls have to go to school, they gotta put on panties. If the little girls go to school, they gotta register birth certificates. Now I know in Hatfield and McCoy world, they only register births if there's a disability so they can get a social security check or disability check. One child's disability check can take care of a whole Hatfield family. And I've seen it done with the black Hatfields and McCoys and the white Hatfields and McCoys. So that's when the ancestors came to me and said, leave it alone. They starve their kids all the time. The ancestors said, leave it alone. If you say that they are, if you let them eat themselves, you won't have any problems with them. And the universe has been trying to tell us that since World War I. Told us that, oh no, the black airplanes gotta go and help Italy or whatever. We should have stayed totally out of it. We wouldn't be having these problems now. Then the universe and ancestors made it so that it came back around. World War II. We just couldn't stay out of it. Even though they did the whole racist thing, where we should have just got our shit and left and said, good luck, motherfuckers. We didn't. We wanted to fight on the side of the Hatfields and the McCoys. But ancestors, I tell you now, I stay out of it. When they start eating each other in Washington in 2023, or even, I'm staying out of it. I'm observed, like you said. And I'm staying out of it. Y'all remember the Vikings? Ain't no Vikings no more. You know what? They killed each other. They just stopped bombing each other in Ireland. Because even though the Catholic Church was trying to make them have all the babies to put back with the people that was blown up, nature don't work like that. You wipe out a whole family, the whole family is gone. It ain't coming back. See, that's the Hatfield and McCoy logic. Came all the way from Europe. The Scott Irish. That's the logic. But ancestors, I hear you. Observe and watch them eat themselves. Stay out of it. I am so glad y'all went through enslavement and everything. And that's why I'm here. That's why my mother was able to run out of Virginia from the Hatfields and McCoys. She just didn't know she was running to the northern Hatfields and McCoys. You remember the Civil War? If we as African Americans would have stayed out of it, they'd have killed one another and we wouldn't have all this problem. You wouldn't have had no paddy wagons driving up and down because in the Civil War, they would have killed each other. The Hatfields and McCoys was shooting each other sitting at the dining room table where nobody walked out. That's their logic. I know the ancestors saying, you ain't telling us, we telling you. Yes, I'm telling you, I hear you. They ate each other up. They would have bombed and killed each other. What do they say? 500,000, 600,000? If Japan had stayed out of World War II, they would have dropped bombs on each other and we'd be rid of them. Now, when they go into this thing with Ukraine and Russia, stay out of it. Okay, I know. The ancestors is telling me, they say, don't talk to us like you the one telling us, we telling you. Yes, I'm staying out of it. As should every black or brown person who's ever been colonized, who's ever been Hatfield and McCoy. Stay out of it. The universe, the ancestors is working. And they always eat their own. That McCoy, no, what do they call it? Murdoch. After he took all the poor black people money, and after he took all the poor white people money, it's alleged, but if you know the Hatfields and McCoys, and it was alleged he killed his wife and child. But that's the mountain way. That's the Hatfield and McCoy's way. He was supposed to kill them. Women don't need nothing with the Hatfields and McCoys. Little babies don't wear diapers. How can you finger a little baby if they got a diaper in the way? That's the Hatfield and the McCoys. Ain't nobody going up in the mountains to find out what they doing to them kids. And those kids aren't even listed as being humans. Like I said, unless they can get Social Security or disability check. Other than that, there is no record of their entire existence. What is that Wagner thing? They was homeschooled by a mother with less than a third grade education, and she homeschooled them. The father homeschooled them. They can pick the best locks. They can shoot. They can steal an 18-wheeler while the damn driver is in the cab sleeping. They was homeschooled. That's Hatfields and McCoys. They's homeschooled. So when they had a problem not being able to see their grandchild, their solution was to kill 8 people. That's homeschooling. Hatfield and McCoy logic. They kill each other. It's what they do. We just got, I know, ancestors says like, stop talking to me like you telling me we done told you. I know, okay. They love killing each other. They love killing each other. We gotta let them do it. Remember Rodenberger, Messerog? He killed 3, but he killed 3 of them. Them folks that was walking up and down, we put ourselves in that. Them folks that was walking up and down with them guns, that was the Hatfields showing the McCoys, and the McCoys showing the Hatfields. It had nothing to do with us. But we put ourselves in it. They kill each other all the time up in the hills and the mountains. Don't nobody know, and don't nobody go to jail. Don't nobody know, and don't nobody go to jail. Boy, I roller skate tonight, y'all. Them little babies is giving birth. Get a little breast time, and if it's a girl, them legs is open, honey. That's the Hatfield and McCoy way. So of course they don't want no abortion. How can you get a 6-month-old baby to have sex with if they ain't have no 6-month-old babies? I just remember that little girl. I remember the counselor, she was like, could you not sit like that? And I looked over and I was like, who? Who? She said, we don't wear no drawers. He said, well, what happened when you get your period? She said, we're pregnant by then. But, oh, okay. Okay. That's the Hatfield and McCoy way. Little did I know that they was just giving me a preview. She was just telling me, this is the country you in, girl. Now, up there in New York, y'all got to wear underwear. Because that's the European stuff. Or the poor European trying to act like rich European or whatever. Oh, the Hatfields and the McCoys. If we just stay out of it, the ancestors and the universe will take care of them. Whew. If we just stay out of it. When I was sick, I was looking at that Buried Under the Ice. All these warships, Viking warships, all these warships, all these bones, all these bodies, all these helmets, and I was laying there, and I was like, oh man, it's with this election. I said the Hatfields and McCoys always win. The Hatfield, and they said no, they don't. They've extincted each other many times. I said African Americans start moving out of communities where they are the Hatfields and the McCoys. So Russia know where to hit, because Russia don't want to. We are no collateral to them. The fight is white people fighting white people. They're warriors. Warriors fight warriors. Black people they don't consider to be warriors. They consider us to be pushovers. So they are warriors. They have to fight each other. And I remember seeing all that stuff at the bottom of the sea. And then when they went into the mountains and the ice glaciers, and you saw all these bodies frozen in the ice with their helmets on and their guns, and it was all the Hatfields and the McCoys from World War I and World War II. Ice ate them. So we stay out of it. Let them eat themselves. Get out of their communities and neighborhoods. Let Russia know exactly where to hit, because we are no killing black people. Russia don't think. They don't care about that. They want to kill the Hatfields and the McCoys. Get out their way so they can do what they do. Let all of them just eat themselves. Let them eat themselves. That's the only way any relief can come to any of us. I turned 65, and the McCoys and the Hatfields have it in place where I have to pay extortion money to a Hatfield, into a system for the Hatfield McCoys. Later on, they'll go and take it down, and they'll divide it amongst each other, go back up the hills, laugh, party, have a good time, get the meth, and the heroin and Oxycontin and shit, and just have a real good time. Oh, our walk is almost over. Oh, ancestors. I'm bringing 2 new ancestors tomorrow for the walk. I'm walking, so happy to be walking, happy to be walking. Thank you for ancestors, thanks for not giving up on me. Yeah. Thanks for coming on the walk, y'all. Like, comment, share, tell uncle, tell auntie, tell a cousin, tell a friend. Walking. Yes, indeed, I'm walking. Oh, yeah, I'm walking. Like, comment, share. Tell uncle, tell auntie, tell a cousin, tell a friend. Have a good day, and I'll see you tomorrow. I'm walking. Thanks.